Started doing vocal exercises to get my voice back.
Welcome to the Cube Patreon Q&A podcast thingy. Haven't seen you in a couple of days.
Yeah, post class.
Yeah. How'd that go?
It was, honestly, strangely emotional.
Really?
I did not see that coming
Okay.
at all. Like, I got up there.
Yeah. So
I'm going to get a little vulnerable. You want to know about my feelings?
I was about to ask. Because hey, it finally happened, you bastards. Watch this. Daniel.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Good.
No, come on.
No, we did all the morning stuff. I got everything started, and students are sitting down in their chairs, and music's cranking like we always do in class.
Talking about the Whiskey Sommelier program over at the Wizard Academy.
And then we stop everything, close the curtains, and I go up to the front, and I'm like, "Hey, Zach, what is it we're supposed to do when we start the?" Oh yeah, it's like, where are the bathrooms? Where all the here's where all the stuff is for the day.
Yeah.
And I turned to the room, and I froze, and then I started getting choked up. No joke. And I was like, "What is happening?" No, I just got a little bit and I was like, I've got some stuff to tell you guys, but it turns out I missed you. Like, not you guys, I've never seen you before, but I missed this, and it feels good to be back.
This feels right.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start talking about class, and then I moved on. But it was.
Then you started drinking and becoming a blubbering mess.
Oh yeah. No, the food is good, and having good meals, and hanging out with students, and kicking it on graduation night.
Cool. And this was like the level 1.
This is a level 1. We had I think 9 or 10 people in this class. We did a smaller group as our first thing back.
Right. Cool.
Anyway,
we got the Marshall Copeland. When is the Devil's River plan?
I know we have the other labels for that. That's an Alliance release. I haven't talked to Em about when we're going to release it yet, but it's ready to go.
Chris Jennett, why is the post for Q&A questions so late? Daniel, how does that make you feel? We just learned about his feelings.
Yeah, well, it was so late because last night at like 11 p.m., I was standing on the deck with all the students who were drinking in the vault, and I was like, fuck, the Q&A. I forgot about that.
Tim Shelopov, is there going to be a poll to name the new still? Do you mean Abe?
Abe. We're just calling him Abe. He's already named.
The name's right on there.
Yeah.
There's other equipment that I don't know if it has. Well, it can't all be Abe.
Yeah, but okay, so here's the fun thing. You have to label all your equipment for the feds.
Okay.
So, they have to know, that's tank something, and that's tank something, and that's tank. And so we could literally name
Tank Awesome.
Yeah. We could literally name every one of them. Like, one of our smaller stubby rolling tanks that Emma uses for tail cuts is called R2D2 in our system.
Okay.
And in the federal reporting.
Okay, so the Fed name.
Yeah.
And then the reference name.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. We've got the Parker DeMoss. Good day, Mr. Sum and Mr. Mooch. Ever tried anything from Ladyburn?
Oh, no, but I know about that one.
He just tried W. Grant Ghosted Reserve 26. Wow. 'Twas good.
'Twas good.
'Twas good. Yeah, doesn't ring a bell for me.
I've heard of it. I haven't tried it.
Rich Dunbar, any chance there can be some Bastards Ball guest distilleries on campus October 16th, 17th? Actually.
Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. So there will be guest distilleries the day of the ball, but other distilleries can't sell their product anywhere but their distillery or a retail store. So no matter what day of the week we have them show up, they can't sell you stuff on our campus.
Like being at a whiskey festival, like whiskey festivals. They tried to get this passed in Texas, but Texas, when it comes to alcohol, is... Well, I'm not going to say Texas. The politicians are incredibly corrupt. They're being bought left and right by the lobbyists of the package stores. And
so if you want Texas distillery stuff that you can't get and you're flying into the state, come in on Saturday, go to a retail store and buy some.
We do have actually several good options for selections in a retail store.
Yeah, I wish I could say don't ever shop there again because they're the ones who are aggressively fucking us.
But when you got a monopoly, that's how it works.
Yep.
Corey Megrin, not that I have an opinion. First off, whoever posted this at midnight, go to bed. Daniel, if you could shake the hand of any one rock god, who would it be? Rex, if you could roast any public personality between two Fern style, who would it be? Like Galifianakis? That'd be very funny. Who's your rock god?
I don't know, man. There's so many musicians I genuinely love for different reasons. It might be Peter Gabriel.
Yeah.
It could also be Tom Waits.
Mm-hmm.
It could also be Bono.
Yeah. I mean,
there's so many.
I think here's the
Daniel
thing.
Lanois.
If I'm like nearing the end of my life, and I'm going to like, probably kick off pretty soon anyways, I'd roast Vladimir Putin.
Putin putting his pants on one leg at a time. Say he's a regular fella.
Cody Bogzina. What is the superior, Little Debbie oatmeal cream pie or round fudge? Just cream pie.
I haven't had either.
Dylan Churchill. I watched your 2 videos on the old-fashioned fun stuff. Since I know you two like booze-forward cocktails. Yeah, I like to taste the spirit. Have you ever tried a black Manhattan before?
No.
If not, it's super delicious.
Yeah,
So 2
I'll
ounces
try
of
that.
rye or bourbon, 1 ounce of Verna Amaro.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Way more herbal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Peter Brockway. Can we get an MB sweatshirt that is covered by the staff making a bunch of funny faces like a Haggal hoodie? I'm gonna have to look up that reference.
Yeah, but like, is it like
Like
a
an
stencil
Ahagao
style?
hoodie.
Is it like a stencil style faces, or is it like some monocolor?
Is Alex over there to pull up a
I don't know.
Haggal hoodie? Dilhan Bolagoda. It's very early.
Yeah.
Not that my pronunciation would be better later in the day. Just saying. It's
Yeah.
really early. I'm going to Scotland in October, hoping to visit a few distilleries. Any tips?
Just go to all the ones you can. I mean, honestly, there are no tips other than right now you probably need to call ahead because I don't know that they've completely opened restrictions on visits. But other than that, depends on where you are.
And also what kind of whiskey you like, because
Yeah.
what kind of category over there are you into?
Even then, if you already planned your trip, you're going to be in a certain area of Scotland already.
How big is Scotland? I mean, I think it's smaller in Texas, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
So, I mean, you can get around no matter where you are.
But remember, it's like driving on roads like Crystal Hills Drive everywhere.
Don't they have that Tesla button yet? That 5th level autonomous? Yep.
I don't know.
Figure that out. Push the.
Stephen Marson Washburn, which whiskey lineup would you guys recommend when someone is planning an entire day of drinking?
Wow. So I can do like an entire evening or an entire afternoon, or if I'm feeling froggy, an entire morning. But an entire day?
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah. I can get like a third of a day, and then they're okay. Let's bring this in for a landing because I want to feel like a human being tomorrow.
David Engelkink, any plans to make the barrel-aged gin available to the Patreon? Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Zachary Clayton Smith, with the Bastards Ball being on Sunday, is parking still being offered at the church? Yes. We actually reached out to them when we changed it to Sunday and said, is it still going to be cool? And they said yes.
Oh, the church on Sunday said cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should just have church over at the basketball.
Yeah. Whiskey Bastard, can we get some of the bottle labels on merch? Oh, interesting.
Bottle labels.
Yeah, like the label of Eleanor, but on merch, on a hat.
And I think we have some. Okay. Yeah.
That's an interesting idea. Yeah.
Because we got the graphics done.
Yeah.
And then we just transfer it
remember.
to. Yeah. Who's in charge of not forgetting that?
Richard.
Richard. Does Richard watch
That's
all these?
tasting. No. Yeah, he watches it.
Okay. All right. Richard.
Yeah. I'm just making
And
stuff
then
up
go
now.
bother.
Glenn. Can he even reach Glenn in Slack?
I need to add him to that channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in different
Anyway.
channels.
Joshua Montoya. Daniel, would you ever consider doing a whiskey cigar paired special release with Pravada Cigar Club? Well, here's the thing. I've been a member of Pravada Cigar Club now for over a year, almost 2 years, I think. I love them.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd do a pairing thing video.
They may have reached out to us about a sponsorship a few months ago. I didn't know you were.
Oh, did they?
I
Yeah,
didn't know you were a thing.
I've been an active member for a couple of years.
Generally, when it comes to cigar stuff, we'll do maybe once a year because YouTube hates tobacco products.
Yeah.
Like, just algorithmically, you're going to shit the bed on that episode. So, we still like to do the content if it's going to be worthwhile content. So about once a year. It's going to be making the most sense for our channel.
Michael Cavalier, what coping mechanism do you have to deal with my inane questions?
Coffee.
Dylan Thompson. Dylan Thompson, this may have already been asked at some point, but if you could work for a Scottish distillery, which one would it be?
you had an answer to this a while ago.
Yeah, well, originally it was Lafroig just because I love to drink it, or Lagavulin, right? But if I wanted to be a part of something where they were like actually exploring things, it would be Bruichladdich.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although Lafroig is doing a whole bunch of no age statement interesting stuff too, so
Cody Buchanan, Daniel, can you please tell me, blurp, Jesse, you boys have had High Wheeler New Zealand whiskey, but have you tried the South Island single malt?
I don't know. I don't think so. Bob Curran. You always see. I have a cracked screen. I couldn't see it was an R.
Yeah.
You always see whiskey aged in rum barrels. Would you be willing to age rum in a whiskey barrel?
Sure.
Oh, you know what? I found a source in Texas that's it turns out a highly regarded rum distillery in Texas called High Rum Distillers, and they one of their big businesses is sourcing rum for other people, like making rum for other people.
Oh.
If we ever want to have rum,
Will
done.
they do it to spec?
I think so.
Interesting.
But they're really well respected in the rum community.
Is it
Chris Hart, who really likes rum, he thinks highly of those guys.
I'd like to try it.
Yeah. Rick Williams, what's your guilty pleasure song?
Guilty pleasure song.
Mr. Song. It's a hard G, god damn it. God damn it.
Song.
Did you hear that?
You pronounce it song.
Some.
How are we not drunk right now?
I know.
It's early morning.
Is it road? Guilty pleasure. I don't have any guilty pleasure songs because any song I like, I like it.
It's not something I go back to. I have a seasonality to my silly songs. Recently, it was "Loser" by Beck.
But that's not embarrassing.
And the time at Chimpanzees.
Awesome.
Then "Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster." I think that made an appearance in a recent episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I like all the songs.
I fired that one up a few months ago, and then I had forgotten about all the N-words in there. It's like, wow, okay, can't sing this one.
Michael Conning, Daniel Rex's burps and other emissions now part of your base tasting template. Yeah. Ace Johnson, thoughts on a yard sale for the Bastards Ball? Oh, interesting. So you're going to fly to Texas for the whiskey event and leave with antiques. We could fire sale everything in the Alamo shed.
Dude, if we could.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Zach and I have been talking about it.
Everybody get an armful.
Zach and Tommy and I have been like, hey, what if we just did like a weekend-long yard sale in the parking lot of Wizard Academy with all the shit and all the closets and sheds and all of that kind of stuff, and people walking around with square iPads and square. Just be like, you want that? Fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
We did it one time in Tuscan Hall, and
how much of it is actually Academy property? How much of it is actually?
Well, it's all rolling pennies. We're not going to tell them.
Yeah, I was like, didn't I have? No, you never.
No,
never.
No, that never happened.
Dump truck, hypothetically spitballing here. If a slightly overweight magnificent bastard were to make the 1,500-mile trek to the world-renowned Fang and Feather and did said journey at the end of the month and visited Fang and Feather on the, let's say, 30th and picked up his 1,500 milliliter of allowable purchased whiskey, could said MP hypothetically, of course, return the next day on the first of the month, and I don't know, pick up his next month's allotment. It's per 30 days. I see what you did there.
It's not in a calendar 30 days. It's actual 30 days.
But let me put it this way.
Or a calendar month.
You shut up, and then I pride the dynamic, the aura, the spirit of problem solving. I pride how much that exists around, in places, henceforth, and such, etc. Basically, if you have like a friend that's there that can sign for you, then
we can figure it out.
And we would like to make fast friends here at Crowded Barrel.
Brian Cosano. Not a question, just want to say thank you for all that you guys do. You're welcome.
Thank you. Jason H. Busey. This for Rex from my buddy Michael Scott. Why are you the way that you are? Sound like my wife.
Yeah. I can hear
like
that.
Once or twice a day I'll get, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. Ryan Mullally.
Sure.
How can you know when to stop the tails cut before you get to the ever-hated piney nose? Oh, yeah. So here's the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It tends to show up in the nose before the palate. And as long as it's only in the nose, you can sort of cut when it starts to tinge. And you're talking about just a tiny amount of liquid in a tank of everything that's good.
Mm-hmm.
In that quantity, it doesn't really fuck up the hearts. And so as long as you run the still low and slow,
right,
which means you're not just blasting through liquid, if you hit that point and you're going too hard, you'll pass it before you have a chance to stop the cuts. But if you're running low and slow, then you'll start to smell it first. It'll get a little stronger, and then all of a sudden it'll show up in the palate, and bam, that's when you cut.
Your box is all the way over. Just... All right. Samuel Strauss-Paul. Can you go into the whiskey slushy frozen treat machine in greater detail, like what it would cost $6,000?
I'm too tired.
And what would be run through it? Basically, just the spirit and like this powder stuff that helps it congeal into a soft serve texture. The powder is flavorless. But yeah, it'll be like $6,000. And would it, for giggles in a Tribe episode, both practical tasting room? It would most likely work really well for cocktails, I think. Yeah. We would make a cold fashioned.
I'd drink it. Maybe only once, depending on how it tasted.
No, it would taste, dude, I'm telling you, it would taste like an old fashioned, colder. It tastes like the original old fashioned you put in there.
How do you know? You've not even tried this.
I've watched so many videos about this. I want a cold fashioned.
I saw it on the internet.
I want just an easy episode.
Kyle Wells, opinions on a 4 malt pot still whiskey? Yes, sounds delicious. Lorenzo Rodriguez, hey guys, hope all's well. My question's pretty straightforward. When Distillery releases a cask strength version of a Coraline, like Laphroaig or Redbreast, are they making a different blend to reach a profile, or is it just what they usually bottle at cask? In my experience, and the people I've talked to about it, it's just what they usually bottle at cask. They're not actually blending in order to create the cask strength version specifically.
We have Axel Quinones. On July 2nd, I had the opportunity to visit the Crowded Barrel all the way from Puerto Rico. Had an amazing time there and met Rex. What a great guy. It sounds like I'm making this up. I'm not making it up. When you come to Puerto Rico, call me. I got a few bottles of the Single Mom, some Alliance, and a couple of Eleanors. Can you give a little bit of history on the Eleanors?
That was the name of the woman whose story was written about when we started releasing our first line of 12 barrels of sourced MGP.
Yep.
The story took place and is finished now over 12 chapters, written by Gordon Atkinson, who is on-campus artist right now, also board of directors at Wizard Academy. And each chapter was a different flavor profile or a different finish or a different aging technique.
So the first 12 barrels that we got from MGP, that was basically an exploration of single barrels. Those were all single barrel releases. And the variations you can find with the exact same whiskey go through the exact same process. They were all aged like a year and a half in Texas after we got them.
Right.
So they went through some Texas heat, and that cooked up the flavor a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Eleanors, and now the Eleanor plan is going to be quite a bit different.
Yeah, we're switching to one single Eleanor back label that just explains what we just told you. Here's what Eleanor is.
Yeah.
And then every version is a batch, and each batch just tells you what it is on the side.
Yeah. And
so
then,
sometimes it's a single barrel, sometimes it's a blend of barrels, sometimes it's a finished barrel, so on.
The finishing exploration is going to be the most interesting thing, I think. Because Eleanor, here's the single barrels, here's the variation, cool. But how does that same spirit now evolve once it's finished? And for example, like a rum barrel would be one of the finishing options.
Right.
A stout would be another, different wine barrels, Madeira casks. Yeah.
Bob Stoops, Broken Pinky. What are some decisions that up to now you'd have to make differently if you were traditionally funded? We might have had to double down on scale and retail first.
Yeah, they would make us, if they had investors and people that we were accountable to, they would want us to capitalize on the channel and the name and rush into retail, and then that's how distilleries get pressured into releasing
Shit
stuff.
that's not ready or
it's
good.
not ready. Yeah, it's something that's hopefully people will like it and they just put it out there.
That's the thing you always find about investors is they put money into a distillery, but then if they can't show their friends that bottle in specs is my distillery I invested in, they get really antsy.
Yeah. So one reason why you see so many distilleries, it's people that are in their golden years that have made their fortune in a wildly different industry. And then they will find some type of like ancestral trace to where theoretically he probably had some whiskey 200 years ago. So I trace my family roots all the way back to this whiskey history that they can put on a label. And they made all their money in insurance or as a lawyer or in healthcare or something. So they can still have fun and make the decisions they want to make in terms of making a quality spirit, and they're not beholden to investors. That would be a fun way to do it, but still, I don't want to do a boring ass career. Yeah, before we do the fun stuff.
Speaking of, Diageo de Luna. Diageo. That's where my mind's at. Besides the whiskey castle, what are your long-term dreams? Dude, I can't think past the castle.
I
start thinking about things and we hit the castle and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna.
I can think back past the castle
For your own life?
No,
for the distillery.
Yeah, for the distillery. Yeah. I'm not really keen on making it attractive to a Diageo or a Pernod Ricard. Again, it's just why have a boss? Why have a boss? It's Bob Stoops.
Yeah, we're skipping.
Hey, he's got a broken finger too.
He does. Broken pinky. Tyler, y'all know of any way to ship alcohol legally? No. Jonathan, there's not any way legally, unless you have a retail license or a distributor license or in certain states.
But tube socks to give a protective covering to olive oil.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
Jonathan Callow, hey guys, how are you? Good.
I'm super good, man.
A lot of the largest Scotch brands are shipped at 43 in the U.S. and the U.K. at 40. Why? Honestly, if I remember correctly, and Google this, but if I remember correctly, there was at one point a rule about alcohol being released at 40 in the UK, and it couldn't go above. Like you weren't able to get cask strength shit.
Wow. That sucks.
But I don't remember if that's accurate or if that's an old wives' tale.
Zay or nut, I would be curious what the duo think of Total Wine's concierge offerings. I see some interesting offers, but I am never quite certain if it's a good deal or their way of shifting overpriced whiskey under the guise of being exclusive.
Oh, like the house brands.
Yeah.
Like what's the one?
So, in terms of...
We've tried a bunch of them.
Let me put it this way. It's the way... So in terms of a good deal, who knows? Could be a lot, and I can't speak specifically to this program, but a lot of ways that programs like this work is the quality of the whiskey isn't really that important. It's mostly what kind of deal they can work out with
what
the maker.
margin they can create at the retail shelf
So
level.
if they get some special like pricing or exclusivity, which is arguably not really legal, then they become part of like a special program where their employees are incentivized to move more of that product because the store knows they make a better margin. It could be amazing whiskey, it could not be, but the impetus isn't behind, hey, let's
Quality
get the
and
best
art,
spirit out
craft.
to people and really push that. That's not really factoring into it.
I think
It's
like Greenstone is one of those things.
Yeah, so stuff like that. And then also with, not even house brands, just other distilleries, makers that they can get a really good, exceptional deal from.
So did we get a final count of how many little bottles of single malt we ended up with? It's a little under 3,000.
It was under 3,000.
Yeah, once we pulled all the things we needed to reserve and stuff like that. But for sale, it was under 3,000.
Right.
And we still have a bunch left because everyone held back honorably.
Oh, nice.
So now it's up for grabs. Anybody who wants to get as many bottles as they want, feel free.
Right. We got. It's okay. This is supposed to be crazy late. We all make mistakes. I forgive you. Also, chance to talk with Paul yet? Who's
I feel like I missed something.
who's Paul?
Am I supposed to be remembering something again?
Remind me.
Probably.
Richard, we'll ask Richard. He's in charge of remembering.
Yeah, I'm remembering things.
Yeah.
Chang Xing Yang, Europe changed its law on any kind of imports into it. It requires the VAT to be paid even for gifts. How does that affect Patreon? So it's we actually, Patreon reached out to people about this.
Okay.
And essentially, under a certain dollar amount, and under certain things, you don't have to do stuff and you can file. So we're fine. And right now, we're not doing it. But it's only going to get more complicated.
Yay.
So we'll see.
That's exactly what makes everything better.
Yeah.
Bureaucracies giving you layers of unnecessary bullshit. Elix, do you guys know British Columbia's legal definition of a craft distillery? It's actually kind of cool.
They have real restrictions, and it limits to how much you can actually produce.
Oh.
Like if you want to open a distillery in British Columbia, it's the only territory in all of Canada where you have a cap on what you can make as a business.
So they have huge tax breaks as long as they satisfy the conditions of fermentation and distillation is performed at the distillery.
Right.
Only provincial agricultural inputs.
Right.
No additives including flavor or color.
Right.
No neutral grain spirits allowed. No highly processed products like canned vodka coolers. Okay, that seems kind of vague. Traditional distillation techniques must be used. No instant aging. Annual product output must be 50,000 liters or less, which incentivize bottling at higher than 40%. Ooh. This definition is given as gems like Shelter Point. It'd be awesome if more places adopted something like this. That's cool, man.
No, I disagree. I'm against that almost entirely.
I like, well, regardless of what these specific things are, I like the idea of craft having some type of clearer parameters.
Yeah, but
otherwise you get
that
these,
is so fucking restrictive.
Otherwise you get these behemoths who can just put crafts on a bottle.
Yeah.
And people feel like, I can explore.
And I get that. That's fine. I don't know. The more rules, there are certain times when it's like, yeah, we need some clarity around this, but it's for transparency. This is not rules that for me are clarity and transparency. Those are rules for like, you better meet our definition of craft or all your tax breaks go away.
I can be convinced that rules for defining things like small batch and like craft, that type of stuff. I was like, okay, getting some specific parameters, yes, to the extent that it begins to limit creativity. And that's where the rubber meets the road. But yeah, I'm open to something like that. You less so. Gary Wilder, I noticed by chance that the space whiskey horse was indeed dead, but somehow I feel like beating that damn thing a bit
He
more.
tries to give all the science about how it would work.
In zero gravity, technical microgravity, there is no guarantee that the whiskey will stay in contact with the barrel wall. Mm-hmm. It could very well just hover in a round glob in the middle of the barrel, making factors such as temperature change and barometric pressure moot. By the way, Wee Beastie with a good splash of Abelor is yummy. And it does sound good.
Lawrence Steck, you always say that you two should drink a bottle within 2 years when you've opened it. What about after that? It really, 2 years is just a rule, generic rule. If you're not opening it regularly, you can go a lot longer. If you're opening it constantly, a lot less.
Yeah.
John McElwain with the new Crowded Barrel sign. Are you going to get a bat signal backlight? Yeah. I really wanted to. Yeah. As soon as I saw it, I was like, fuck yeah.
Bat signal. Yeah. We need some type of light up there. Yeah.
So
just
it always projects?
smoke falling down.
Because that'll work in the highest part of Austin where it's always windy. We'll just bolt you to the roof and you can just like vape
on
into it. Yeah.
Roberto Serrano going to visit on the 23rd with my brother. Will we be able to share a drink with both of you, or is Daniel going on vacation?
Is the 23rd a Friday?
That was good. If it's a Friday, then
Yes.
we're usually both there in like the late afternoons to evenings. Alex says yes, it's a Friday.
Then yes.
Yeah, I should be there unless Alex just makes me do all the editing again. What do you do here?
Why am I still here then? Why am I still here?
Those beautiful hands. We talked about this.
Joe
Can't
Humbert.
get them out of my head.
Joe Humbert. Have you ever knocked over or broken bottles on the floor in the vault? I've knocked them over, but we've never broken any.
Yeah.
Tom Schiff, did Danielle go true Scotsman when wearing the kilt and also have a dirk in his hose leggings? So, yes on the dirk, no on true. I was wearing...
That's not authentic at all.
Dude, I'm standing up in front of a whole room full of people sitting in chairs, half of whom are women.
You don't want to hang brain. Deep Fry 97. Do you have a bottle of the Mr. Black and Whistlepig collaboration coming?
No. Mr. Black and Whistle Pig combo. Is that it? Oh, the barrel rested. Hey, did they send that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, we do. It's nice, and it's going to be mostly familiar. If you already like Mr. Black, you're going to like this too. But you can find in an AB, you can find that nice accent that the Whistle Pig barrels did. It's good stuff. Ed Sichler. The last time I visited Fang and Feather, Richard brought out from the back a bottle of the Royal Brockla. That was going to be the Royal Bastard, yeah. To show the groups of us there, the first bottle, which jump-started Crowded Barrel. The first is going to be the first Scotch for sure. I think Eleanor was the one we got. The very, very first was 12 barrels. It's a great story. This leads me to question, are there bottles from previous releases that were ordered but have not been picked up?
I mean, yeah, but it's paid for.
Yeah.
So
is there a way for Patrons to purchase any of them? Yeah, they're already claimed.
Yeah. Travis Woolard, when are we going to have another non-Texas Alliance release? We're working on it. We've got a bunch of options that we're trying to work through, but craft guys are not the best at understanding transfer and bond and how to get things and what we need. And
you and I were actually having a conversation with a person that, when it comes to, the exploration of craft and bringing in some interesting barrels and all that stuff, if we end up moving forward with that person, that would really kick open the door to have somebody full-time focusing on that.
Tracking that down. And honestly, because the Texas Whiskey Association, if we want to be a member, we have to always be serving something Texan over the counter. Mm-hmm. And right now, because we don't have enough of our own product to do that, Alliance release lets us release Texas product over the counter.
Oh, you're just getting it from the other Texas stores?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Michael Beal.
There we go.
South Mississippi, I have some new make, and I want to buy a barrel. The mash is 55% corn, so I like to play with barley and rye. How far away am I from making whiskey? Just put it in a barrel. You're 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, if you want the wood to have impact, who knows? And depending on the size of the barrel, it might be months, or weeks if it's too small.
Yeah, and the Mississippi heat. So yeah, you get
a 5 gallon barrel and let it sit for 6 months to a year.
5 gallons. You should check it in 6 months.
Yeah.
In a year, that's probably going to be cooked up pretty nice. If you get scale that up to a 53 gallon barrel, then you're probably going to be in that for a year before you need to bother checking it, and then it's probably going to end up being at least a year and a half, if not 2.5 years, before it's going to be nice.
Plus, that kind of production to fill a barrel of that size. Yash Pod, once full production is up and running, are you producing in larger quantities? Is there intention to go to Canada? Well, there's always intention to go to Canada and Europe. It's just time.
And the
volume
and the legalities and the bullshit and the hurdles and the taxes and the VATs and all that stuff. But yes, we want to get things to all the people who want things. But whatever horseshit stands between us and them, if it's the kind of horseshit that'll drag you away in handcuffs, that's the kind of the barometer, the litmus test. Do they drag you away in handcuffs? Then we're going to pay attention.
Right.
Jeremy Koshak, is there a specific malted, unmalted barley ratio in single pot still whiskey, or can they change as they want to?
My memory is that 30% is that number.
Jeff Inman, can an individual in Texas ship whiskey to another individual out of state? Look, it's capable, physically, in the realm of universal mechanics and physics, that's a possibility that can happen.
Yes. Yeah. Chris Duck, planning a trip to Las Vegas to meet up with online friends I've known for decades, and we're looking for whiskey bars, and I found the Whiskey Attic that claims to have the largest whiskey collection in the United States. Couldn't find an exact count, but I'm curious. I have heard from people that the Whiskey Attic is cool, and you get to drink cool whiskey, and they have a fun experience. That guy also spends a lot of time shitting on us.
Really?
Yeah, multiple people who've taken his tours why he went really out of his way to shit on the whiskey marketing school.
Who the fuck's the Whiskey Attic?
Yeah, he just does. He has a big collection of whiskey and sells tickets for tours and tastings.
All right.
He is one of the guys who says he has this patented way of tasting whiskey.
Oh, really? Fuck. Just one of these? Okay.
Swishing it around, basically.
All right.
Yash Pod, speaking of Canada, have you been following the SMWS court battle with
Canadian single malt distillery?
Oh, that's not an SMWS court battle. That's the because you're talking Scotch Malt Whiskey Society.
Yeah.
No, this is the Scottish Whiskey Association.
Yeah. So that's just independent bottling. gig.
No, yeah,
Single malt.
SMWS is just independent. As Scottish Whiskey Association sues anybody who uses something that vaguely sounds like it's Scottish.
Bruce Flagey, and I'm assuming it's Flage. Flagey. Anyone do the experiment of aging whiskey in a used Tabasco barrel? So
Yeah,
that's-
Dickel.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We have it in the vault.
Oh.
Chris
I mean,
Duck.
perhaps, what is it? It's just TR to take some of the bite out of the barrel.
Christopher Wheeler, there was talk about local meetups for various states. Now that I'm new, what's happening? I am in the final stages of us being able to actually relaunch meetups. We're sort of waiting for COVID and vaccines and everything to be a little more handled, and we're getting there. So it's going to be before fall kicks in.
Okay. So now we get to do an entire day of work. All right. Cheers, y'all. Have a good weekend.